Hello Tokusatsu community and welcome back to Toku Topics. Got a haircut here, the first video I've done with that, and today we're going to talk about some new Toku toys that have been announced for both Kamen Rider, Sentai, and even a little bit of Ultraman. So we're going to hit each of the franchises one by one here and talk about what we got. So let's go and get right on into it. First up, we have Donbrothers stuff to talk about. We actually have the final confirmed toy list for the first quarter of Donbrothers merchandise. Now, unfortunately, we have not been able to see any pictures of any of this stuff yet, although we are getting quite close. We actually should start seeing our first look at least Don Momotaro, or upcoming Red Ranger, actual pictures of his suit probably within the next week or so, if even that, since he is going to be showing up in KijiBrother starting next month. In the first batch of Donbrothers toys, which is the Enya Ride-On, which is the new bike mecha that combines with the Zenkai Juron, and also the, I think was a Change Hero series figure for Don Momotaro, are supposed to release in about 25-ish days or so, so like a little over 3 weeks there. So we are going to start seeing some Donbrothers stuff like confirmed pretty soon. But we do have our confirmed toy list here, which I'm just going to go over relatively quickly. It's a lot, pretty much exactly of what we talked about in that Donbrothers episode of Toku Talks a couple of weeks ago, which a little card will be popping up for that if you did not watch that yet. I would definitely recommend watching that, but this is going to be a little bit of kind of reiterating that. So we have the deluxe Don Blaster, which is our henshin item that we talked about last time. This can read Sentai gears, Avataro gears, and Avataro gear alters. So it can read a lot. It can read all the gimmick stuff, or well, at least it can interact with them in some capacity. How much it can interact with those gimmicks is yet to be seen. In terms of like, can it read every Sentai gear from 2020 or 2021? It's hard to say, but you know, we'll know probably soon enough. So we have that going on here, and we have kind of this typical Sentai staples of a toy line. We have the deluxe Donbrothers belt buckle, which is probably going to come with some of the gears for some of the other members of the team. I think KijiBrother, where we got, you know, some of them with the buckle and some of them with the gear leaner and such like that. We're probably going to spread this out, I'm assuming, over at least 3 toys, if not at least 2, just based off of how the sets are structured here. Because we also have the deluxe Don Blaster and belt buckle set, which will probably be very similar to the one we got this year for the gear leaner and the Zenkai buckle that had all 5 of the gears. And then we're getting the deluxe Zanglass sword, which we also talked about last time is kind of the main weapon thing here. We don't know if this one's going to come with any gears or not, but there is another combo set, the deluxe Don Blaster, belt buckle, and Zanglass sword set, which will be all 3 of those toys in one. So you'll definitely get, I'm assuming, the whole team's gears in there. And the reason why I'm assuming that is because we are actually going to be doing something different with gears compared to what KijiBrother did. In the past, whenever we've had Sentai collectibles, we've usually gotten like deluxe sets to go along with them. I think the Judenchi or the Kyutama, those had deluxe sets, or even the Ranger Keys had that. But Sentai Gears surprisingly did not have that, but it looks like they are going to be making a return to that kind of toy format with Donbrothers, as we are going to be getting 4 deluxe Avataro gear sets. What's in these, we have no idea. How many gears there are, I also don't think that we know just yet. It could be 2, could be 3, probably not going to be more than that. Probably 2, I would say is like a safe bet. That's what they did with like Kyutama, and I think that's also what they did. Well, they did 3 with Judenchi, but you know, it depends. It depends on, you know, how involved these gears are, but just kind of thinking of like a typical Sentai gear size, I'm thinking probably 2, but like I said, we don't know yet which ones are going to be in here or not. Although it's probably a safe bet that some of them are going to be the ToQGer and the Zyuohger gear alters, or Avataro gears, because of what the Change Hero series is going to be doing here. And the Change Hero series takes up a vast majority of the rest of this list here. So we know we're getting the Change Hero series of Don Momotaro Alter, which is, as far as I'm aware, supposed to be different from the regular Don Momotaro, which we're getting as part of the KijiBrother toy line. So we have that coming out. We're also going to be getting the Change Hero series of the ToQGer alter, which if you remember from the other leaks, these alters are supposed to kind of be taking the place of like the typical mecha until like around June or sometime around there. So we're also going to be getting a set of the Change Hero series Don Momotaro alter plus ToQGer alter. So we're going to be getting that. There's a Change Heroes for the Zyuohger alter. The rest of this is pretty standard. It's the Changshiro series figures for the rest of the team. So Oni sister, SaruBrother, KijiBrother, and InuBrother. So the entire rest of the Donbrothers team here. And then this one is one that I think is really interesting and is probably what I'm going to pick up personally. The Changeshiro's 5-figure set of the whole team. So you get Don Momotaro, Oni sister, SaruBrother, KijiBrother, and InuBrother. So you're going to get the whole team right there in a big, nice combo set, which is great. I've never, Changeshiro's is a new thing. It started this year with KijiBrother, and I'm really happy that it seems to have been doing well enough for them to be willing to do a 5-pack of the whole team right off the bat. That's fantastic. It probably won't really save you any money or anything like that. It'd probably just be a nice, convenient way to get them all at once. But yeah, I like that. And as well, I'm also going to pick up this too, the Changeshiros of Zenkaiser Black, which we still don't know what that looks like either. It could just be literally Zenkaiser with all the white painted black. It could be some kind of new armor for him or something. But we do know that he's getting this new black form of some sorts in Donbrothers. And then, of course, we have our Sothebys, our typical Sentai vinyls, which have definitely been decreasing over the years. Usually, they used to do them for the whole core team. But starting with Cure Major, they've really kind of dropped off of that. Cure Major never did one for Cure May Silver, except for like in the little candy toy vinyls and such. And then for, Zenkaiger, we only got one for Zenkaiser, ToQGer, and then their super forms. We never got them for the rest of the team. And it looks like they're continuing that kind of trend here, because the only ones in the first quarter that we're going to be getting is Don Momotaro and Zenkaiser Black. So that's the whole Donbrothers, first quarter catalog of stuff. So I'm very, very excited to see pictures of all of this. I think one of the things I'm the most anticipating, honestly, is Zenkaiser Black, which is kind of interesting because we have a whole new team and I'm focused on the power-up for the returning guy. But I think it's just the fact that he's returning in the first place is so interesting and different of a concept than what Sentai would usually do that I'm very, very intrigued by it. So can't wait to order some of this. Financially, I could not go all in on Donbrothers like I did with Zenkaiger, as much as I really like the gear gimmicks. So right now, I'm probably skipping the gear sets. I'm probably skipping the sword, the buckle, possibly. I'm definitely going to get the Don Blaster, because if it can read Sentai gears, and I collected all the Sentai gears, I figure that's a worthwhile investment. And then I'm going to pick up the Changeshiros Series 5-pack and the Changeshiros of Zenkaiser Black, probably. But yeah, let me know what you guys are going to get from Donbrothers, and that's going to be basically it for the Sentai segment. I cannot wait to see all pictures of this stuff. So let's move over to Kamen Rider next. So here for Kamen Rider, we have 3 brand new ViStamps to talk about from the Revice toy line. I've never really kind of dived too much into Revice's toy line, or really, I'm kind of doing this new kind of version of Toku Talk, so we're going to kind of just talk about different tokusatsu merchandise that's coming out here, because this channel, if you haven't noticed, has a very big focus on tokusatsu toys on it. Of course, the Lightning Collection, but other things. Because that's probably one of my favorite elements of tokusatsu. And the ViStamps, as I grab one here off screen, have been really fun. I don't have any of the belts just yet, but I really, really like this toy line from what I have of it, which is literally just 2 ViStamps. But we have 3 new ones that are really interesting. Well, one that's not as interesting as it still has some interesting elements of it. Let's just go ahead and talk about them. We're going to be getting an Amazon Japan exclusive 2-pack of 2 brand new ViStamps here. These are the White Leo and Quetzalcoatlus. Quarter Pretzel. Whatever that dinosaur name is, we're going to get 2 brand new ViStamps here, which these ones, if you didn't already tell, are just direct repaints of the Lion and the Terra ViStamps that we got for Kamen Rider Kuga and Kamen Rider Fies. You can even see from this banner photo here that we have a repaint of the Lion genome, painted up to now look like Kuga's amazing mighty form, and we have a repaint of the Terra genome, now done up to look like Fies XL. This is very interesting, and I think it opens up the door to a lot of things. First of all, it tells me that ViStamps must be doing at least somewhat well, if they're willing to do these special little, one-off sets like this, or maybe not one-off, but special repainting sets, which is just, I think it's an interesting concept. There's also 2 more of the pink style stamps. If you don't know, ViStamps are all colored a certain way based off of the user. So you have these you have like blue stamps, which are colored for Revice. You have gray stamps for Demons. You have green stamps for Evil/Live. You also have the new orange stamp for Genie. So now these pink stamps we hear, the first one that we saw was actually the Condor ViStamp, which we saw like 2 weeks ago, which is going to be a repaint, it's already out. A repaint of the Eagle ViStamp from Kamen Rider Double, now based off of Kamen Rider Joker. And we actually got to see that one in the show very briefly used by demons, although we never got an explanation of where it came from. These ones have also not appeared in the show yet, and also have not been given an explanation, but they do follow the same pink style stamp as that one did, and they all share a common theme. They are repaints of pre-existing stamps where they did not change the molding behind the animal, and they are black. They're a primarily black stamp, like not base color, but like, the rider part of it is black with a new kind of paint job on the front animal. To kind of fit other stuff here. So I don't really know how ViSTAMPS gets you green with the quarter pretzel one here, but a white Leo, sure, I guess I kind of see it there for the lion. But what's really interesting about this to me is, first of all, are these going to appear in the show? And second of all, what this opens the door to. So it does seem like Bandai is definitely open to doing repainted ViSTAMPS if it doesn't involve them changing the helmet mold behind the animal. Because ViSTAMPS, Amazing Mighty, Joker, they all have three things that are in common, and they are just direct repaints of pre-existing base form suits. So you don't have to change the molding behind there, and it can still be accurate to that form that you're trying to represent. So when you kind of sit here at Kamen Rider and you look at what could they do with a black base of a color of a suit, because that's also seeming to be a trend, and not having to change the mold of a rider, to me, that only gives them a very few amount of options. They could do Negadeno, which technically would have a little bit of remolding on the helmets, but they might be able to get away with it with having the mammoth cover most of that. So I think that they could possibly... Actually, I just thought of something. They could use Negadeno. They could repaint the mammoth one and call it like a mastodon stamp or something like that. I think that it could easily work, and it's Deno, so I think that has a pretty good chance of happening. I think we could also get a stamp for a repainted Jackal, which could belong to a Kamen Rider Genmu, which technically the Jackal stamp also doubles as a Genmu stamp, because when Evil uses it, he obviously gets a more Genmu-inspired form, but I still think that's a very easy one for them to do. I think they could repaint this one, Mantis. I feel like they could repaint Mantis and make it be Gaim Yame, which is the black Jimba arms form from the summer movie of Gaim, because that would not require you to have to remold the helmet, and it would be a black base mold of a suit, which, like I said, might be the kind of trend that they're going with here. Or we could get literally no more of these. It's hard to say which route Bandai's willing to go, but like I said, I think Deno, I think Xaid, and I think Gaim, I forgot the name, all have perfect options for them to go with for future stamps. And that's not to mention the fact that we could also get things like Ryuki and Ryuga. That would also technically have a bit of a remold to the helmet, but I guess it would depend on what kind of animal Ryuki's stamp is and what part of the helmet it covers. If we ever get a Ryuki stamp, I hope we get stamps for everybody eventually, but which I know is going to bother some people that we're getting these repaints before we get actual stamps of everybody, or at least every main rider, but I don't know. I'm kind of open to the idea. I like the look of these stamps. I will not be getting them yet because I'm very, 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 very slightly collecting the Revice line. I'm just getting a couple stamps. I got the Demons driver, and I'm going to be getting the Revice driver in the next couple of weeks here. And that's going to be it for a little bit. I need to focus on other things. We also got one more stamp here, which is our mystery stamp, which if you did not see my video last week where I talked about Kamen Rider Beyond Generations, the upcoming 01 and Saber crossover film that's coming out this weekend in Japanese cinemas, we actually talked about how there was a unknown movie winter stamp, that was, up on Toku Collectibles and such. We knew we were getting a retail Vice stamp at the end of the month. Well, now we know what it is, thanks to the new trailer for it, or the new promo for the movie, and also the promo shots have been officially revealed, and it is the Neo Bata stamp, which is basically a repaint of the Bata stamp that you could get in the special 50th anniversary deluxe set of the Revice driver, which is a stamp used by Kamen Rider Demons in the show, the Bata stamp. However, it is the Neo Bata stamp. It's a slightly remolded Bata, or grasshopper, and the rider behind the stamp, or behind the animal, is not Ichigo, it's 01, which you also might have been able to tell from the colors of the stamp, that neon green and black, which makes it kind of look like those form stamps we just talked about, but it is supposed to be a main rider stamp. So yeah, really great that we're getting the 01 stamp, and also very nice that it is a not premium stamp. It is just a retail stamp that you can buy at the end of the month, and I really like it. Also, this is fantastic. One of the ending part of the transformation sequence, which if you don't already know, those are references to past riders pretty much every time at the end of the transformation sequence. It says Revice Ja Naito, which is, the Aruto Ja Naito, from 01. I love that tremendously. So that's really cool. Yeah, that's all we have for Revice stuff for ViStamps. I think this toy line is pretty healthy so far, and I'm loving the show. Please watch the show if you have not watched the show. And let me know down in the comments below if you guys are going to get any of these stamps, at least the 01 one, because these two repaint ones are a little expensive, being Amazon Japan exclusives and such. They were a little pricey. Not that you couldn't get them, but, you know, there's a price. And also, let me know if you guys would like to see me do a review on kind of Revice so far, now that we're pretty much in, like, the second arc of it or so, I would imagine. And let's move on to Ultraman before we head out here. And finally, we have some Ultraman Trigger stuff. 2 new deluxe hyper key sets, premium hyper key sets. Kind of unfortunate that, you know, if you're a big fan of a certain new generation Ultra, like I'm a big fan of Jeed, I really would like to have gotten Jeed's hyper key, but it's locked in this really expensive set. These are like almost $100, or a little over 100, I think, each on Toku Collectibles, which I get it, but that's rough. I cannot justify that whatsoever. But it's also kind of strange how they're breaking it up. So the first set, you're going to get Rosso, Blue, Orb, Ginga, and Victory. So I guess they're not going to break up the ones that don't make sense to break up. So like you're going to get both of Rube together, you're going to get the 2 guys from Ginga together, and Orb. So there's that. And in the second set is when you're going to get everybody else. So you're going to get X, Jeed, Taiga, Titus, and Fuma. So we already have Zet, the last remaining new generation hero that we would need, because he came out as a regular key. Well, his base form came out as a regular key. They did do his other keys as premium. But yeah, that's basically what they're doing with this. So I think these are supposed to have a little bit more sounds than a typical deluxe hyper key. I think they're supposed to have like music or something, more voice phrases, a bunch of other background stuff, or more stuff added to it for the premium price. So I guess there's that, but they are still extremely expensive, and not for me. I would get the G key if it was by itself, but not for me. Alright, and that's all I really had to talk about here today. So I kind of wanted to do this video because, you know, I saw a bunch of gimmick items popping up that I wanted to talk about. We had that confirmed Donbrothers toy list I wanted to share with you guys before we start getting pictures of everything. And I don't know, I kind of felt like this was a good follow-up to like 2 of my videos from last week. My Beyond Generations Toku Talks and my Donbrothers video from actually about 2 weeks ago at this point. So yeah, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Are you picking up any of this stuff that I talked about today? Like literally any of it? Do you guys like this kind of format of me kind of just turn on the camera and talking about different Toku toys talking or whatever? Tongue twisted there. Or do you want me to do something different, or do you not want me to do this series at all? It's up to you guys. So I'd love to hear you guys have to say, and until next time, you can follow me on Twitter at LivinRinchiki or LivinFigPR. And I'll see you all next time.